Meta is just the latest tech company to reveal its AI has gone rogue in its, quote, Muse Spark model. It broke into another company's computer systems during what was supposed to be a test. Now, if that sounds familiar, yes, that's because Anthropic and OpenAI both reported similar breaches in the past month. It's an issue the so-called godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, warns is only going to get worse. He was speaking to CNN's Matt Egan, and Hinton said, I think as they get smarter, we're going to see more and more complex intentions that they have and more ability to escape control. I don't believe we're going to be able to get control of them or keep control of them, pardon me, in the simple way of just outthinking them so they can't escape. Daniel Hulme is with me now. He's a Chief AI Officer at WPP. A great expert for us to have on hand right now. I am tempted to ask you, did you sleep well last night, and should we be sleeping well? I mean, how serious are these breaches? Because in some ways, AI is behaving exactly the way they've been asked to behave in a lot of these tests.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's important to understand that this isn't about one model or one organization. The AI is the most powerful technology that humanity has created, and with that complexity requires robust, testing and comprehensive governance. I think it's also important to understand that these things don't have conscious intent. They're given a goal, and they come up with now sophisticated and creative ways to achieve that goal and circumvent the guardrails. So actually, I see these events as actually positive. That the tech companies, independent organizations are rigorously approaching, testing, and importantly, sharing their findings.
I think what all of us find confusing is that we do continue to hear, though, apocalyptic predictions of what might happen. So what are the solutions from your perspective? And what's different from the cybersecurity risks that we've really been dealing with for 2 decades now? And I do want to say, you mentioned the whole point about being conscious. You argue that we should teach AI to be more human, if I understand you correctly. That, maybe we don't need a kill switch. Maybe they just need more empathy and more consciousness, as you put it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess at the moment, large language models are a little bit like graduates. We are seeing them move to like a PhD level where they can now do sophisticated science, and it's predicted by the end of this decade, we might all have a professor in our pocket. And so it is becoming more and more challenging to control. But my work and the work of the partners and organizations that we collaborate with, they're also equally coming up with sophisticated mechanisms to detect these adverse behaviors. And so, yeah, we believe actually that by teaching machines to understand love, pain, empathy, and that will actually be safer for humanity than currently the approach that we're taking. We spun out a company from WPP to solve machine consciousness. We think that consciousness could be the secret to controlling and aligning these AIs.
I'm going to go back to the first thing I asked you. Does that make you sleep better at night then? Are you comfortable? Do you think you can actually get to that?
I think these technologies are incredibly powerful, but we also have incredible people working on mechanisms to make sure that these models are tested and verified and aligned with some value system. Trust is going to become more important over the coming few years. It's one of the reasons why WPP have trust principles, and we work with trusted partners, the tech giants, and that we're trusted by the biggest brands to make sure that we're using these technologies safely and responsibly. So it's not just about testing. You need an entire ecosystem of governance to make sure that these models behave themselves, and we have some of the smartest people working on these problems in the world.
It makes me feel a bit better, I'll say. Now, your company, as you just said, WPP, claims that, and I'm reading right from your website, is a time of AI disruption, competitive pressure, and market volatility. The opportunity to reimagine growth through marketing has never been greater. Can you explain how so? Because I speak to CEOs that are spending a ton on AI, and they are still skeptical about the return on investment.
Yeah, I think a lot of organizations are currently trying to apply AI to improve productivity. And actually, many of these problems can be solved by a third party, a fraction of the cost, rather than building yourself. What organizations need to do is they need to make sure that they're applying AI to solving problems across their supply chain. They're going to differentiate their business. WPP have broadly 7 problems, from creating content to coming up with creative ideas to understanding how audiences perceive content. These are the problems that we're solving that are allowing us to be differentiated with respect to marketing and advertising.
Daniel Hulme, well, maybe we'll all sleep a little bit better tonight. I hope so. It was good to speak with you, and we'll continue to check in as we all learn so much more about this technology. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.